This is just a real quick video on all the settings within the TD-1K module, and the manual doesn't tell you how to do this correctly, so I'm going to let you know. The first thing you can do is change the sensitivity of the pads, and we do this by holding down the metronome button on the module. The drum light should be selected, and if it's not, then hit the select button and go to drums. And when you tap any pad, you should see a number come up. It's from 1 to 30. And the higher that is, the higher MIDI velocities are going to be sent from the module. So if you want more sensitivity, you can turn it up. If you want less, you can turn it down. At a certain point, if it's too low, it won't send full value MIDI velocities to the computer. And if it's too high, it will kind of compress everything super hard. So unless that's something you want, I would leave these somewhere in the vicinity of 8 to 12. I've played around with different sensitivities on my drums, and it really depends on the actual pad and how hard I want to hit things. I want this to feel close to an acoustic kit, so it's natural to play. I do play the electronic drums a little softer than acoustic drums because I don't want to destroy them, but I do want it to be pretty accurate so that it feels natural for an acoustic drummer. Fine-tuning of that I do within the velocity curves of the drum software I'm using. I don't use the module, so your settings may differ if you're using the sound from the module, but I run straight into the computer, into software, and then I can tweak the individual drums, velocity curves that way, and so I can fine-tune it from there. Hitting select again will bring us to the pad type selection, and this is only important if you have something like a mesh snare installed or one of the Roland kick towers. The manual does tell you the options for the pad type. S1 is the default rubber snare, and S2 is for the PDX 8, 6, or 100. For the kick pedal, 1 is the default all-in-one pedal unit that it comes with. 2 is the KD9 and 3 is the KT10. If you hit select again and go to the coach function, you can change the MIDI number that each pad outputs to your interface. This is useful if you want to use the regular general MIDI mappings, which will translate into pretty much any software. They usually have a general MIDI option. So your crash cymbal will be a crash cymbal and not something else. Your toms will work properly, and so on. Here is my current MIDI map, and because the cymbals are dual zone, I do have different cymbals mapped to each zone just because it gives me the amount of cymbals I want. You can, of course, change this to your preferences. You could simplify it. I've also added an extra cymbal, which is not standard with the kit. My hi-hat is MIDI note 46. The crash left is 49. Crash right is 57. My china on my far right cymbal is 52 on the edge sensors. The tip sensors on the left cymbal is a splash, that's at note 55. On the right cymbals, I have the ride bell at 53, and the ride bow is 51. And then the chokes, which I will have another video showing how to get the chokes working with your interface, if that's what you're doing. There is a workaround, but I'm going to show that in another video because it's a little bit more complicated for this. The chokes are 54 on the left cymbal, 56 on the right, and 32 on the far right cymbal. My toms are 48, 45, 43, and 41 going down. The main snare is 38 and the rim shot is 40. And then my kick drum is 36. And again, all that is standard MIDI routing numbers so that I can pull this up and use it in pretty much any drum software. So once again, to change any of these settings, hold the metronome button. On drums, you'll find sensitivity. If you hit select and go to tempo, it will bring you to the pad selection window, which you basically don't need to mess with very often. And if you hit select again to the coach function, it will show you the MIDI numbers. And to pull up any of the drums, just hit the drum and it will automatically show you what the settings are for that particular pad. And so it's very easy to change these and map these, and once they're set up, you're good to go. So I hope this is helpful to someone, and you can check out some of my other videos on the TD-1K if you own one and want to know more. Thanks for watching.